What's going on, everybody? This is your review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 13, episode 1. So, the women start off by doing a state of the world. Um, so, Candy, one of her biggest concerns is since she does have, a son, like, what's going to happen with him? And does she have to fear if he's wrong place, wrong time? And I can see how that's a issue. Like I said, my mother has 3 children. I'm actually her baby. So, and then of course, my silly self going off to the military adds double on top of that, like double the anxiety. So I can understand that frustration of, okay, will I not see my son? Like, if I send him off to school or whatever, will he not come back? So I can see why that's pressing for her. Portia is on the front lines. One thing that I want to say about this is I wish we could have got a little bit more of this. Like with the Real Housewives of Potomac, this fight has drawn now. It's pretty much been like half the season. I wish we could have got Portia on the front lines for at least 2 episodes rather than it just being condensed. I feel there's going to be more, but I at least feel like they could have given us a little bit more of this initial piece. Cynthia has a driveway party because, again, COVID has started. Cynthia said that she's gained 20 plus pounds since COVID. I can't sit here and say nothing because I done gained a hell of a lot since leaving the military, COVID, all that just ran together. So I'm over here. I'm festively and pleasantly plump over here, but that's all right. I'm still sexy. Candy says that she preferred the mouth COVID test over the nose. Now, I didn't know there was a mouth test. I know it was a nose. I got the nose test. Uh, Pretty sure it was early. It was earlier this year, and I had pneumonia. I was trying to keep from going to the hospital because part of me knew I had it, but part of me was like, man, I ain't got it because I knew I didn't have the COVID. I knew that for a fact. I knew I ain't had that. And when I ended up, I coughed, broke a rib, which that's not the first time that's happened. Went to the hospital, and because the whole COVID thing was rampant, they had to do that. So because I done popped a rib, I can't hardly breathe and all this other stuff. Then the nurse literally like jammed the swab in my nose. Oh, that was so fucking uncomfortable. But anyway, Candy says that she preferred the mouth one over the nose, and apparently Todd alluded to her being able to give some moral pleasure. Damn it, I that's the best way I can say it. Now Cynthia is no longer 50 Cent. She's now Titty Cent because I guess she just said that because I mean it's almost like every other shot was her boob. Ain't complaining, but I don't know. Like I think part of it is I think Cynthia started off this season knowing that she really didn't have much of a storyline, so do whatever she can to get camera attention and get people talking. I ain't mad. Marlo rolls up. She starts checking people's temperature, which I find to be funny. Like, how you, granted, I'm not mad because I would do some shit like this too, but how you roll to somebody else's stuff and check their temperature? Like, shouldn't the hostess be checking your temperature? But I digress. Marlo says she's proud of Portia Luther King. I hollered. The girls haven't talked to Kenya with the exception of Cynthia, but Cynthia says that when she talked to her, she didn't want to say that she sounded depressed, but she said she sounded as if she was down. Tried to call her, but the connection was wonky on one person's end. We then get Kenya. She says she's gained 30 pounds since COVID. She's going to see her attorney. She's talking with her best friend Brandon, which we really haven't. I don't think we've seen him in season. I think the last time that they talked might have been on the reunion with the whole Portia and Phaedra thing, whatever. But she says that the last time she saw her husband, he beeline straight for the baby. They began to have a conversation, and apparently he has a short fuse with her, so he literally just snapped on her. Let me see. She also mentions that COVID has adversely affected his businesses and feels that she might be getting the brunt of his aggression because she was there with him for a while. And I guess because he had no other avenue in which to release, he just turned straight to her. But that goes back to just in general, a lot of African Americans, us not having that safe place and space to be able to articulate ourselves to those around us, primarily our parents, because everything is considered disrespect. And I do think, and this is above the surface now because this is meant for somebody, but as a parent, you need to allow your child to talk. Your child can have a right to be mad with you. There's a difference between them blatantly being disrespectful and them telling you something that you don't want to hear. Clearly differences. And when you don't allow children those type of spaces to be able to effectively communicate, then that's when you have people that their first instinct is to start yelling and fighting amongst other things, because they haven't been cultivated to where if they can sit here and turn their emotions and turn it into words. That was for somebody, I don't know who. Kenya says to her attorney that she's a great communicator when it comes to the women, and Shady Bravo, I love the flashbacks, showed her going at Kim's daughter at the reunion, but that was warranted. That was definitely warranted. Like, they was having a battle of the words. Whatever happened with, Candlestick Zodiac, whatever happened with Grandmaster Zodiac is fine. We're cool with that. Now, when she called Tanya, I'll see you next Tuesday. All right. But apparently there's a communication issue between her and Mark, despite the fact she has great communication skills with other women. She said they've been married for 3 years, and her attorney says there probably won't be a division of the assets because it's been such a short period of time. But he then brings up their child, and she says, well, every time we've gone to see him, we've always been in the hotel, and he's joined us there. So he's thinking that then there shouldn't be that much of a fight when it comes to the custody. So we have Portia. She's in Kentucky. She says that she wasn't very knowledgeable about African American issues, and then they do the flashback to the Underground Railroad thing. And again, we're not going to let her live that down. It just is what it is. But she did say that she has thus began to, educate herself for the sake of her daughter, which is a great thing, because, I've said a lot to people around me, because I don't have kids, and I don't think I'm probably going to have kids, but the things that you didn't know when you were growing up should be the very things that you teach your children. Because a lot of things relative to the African American community are history and whatnot. You don't learn that until college as elective. So it's like, why do you have to get to that level of education to learn about your history? But she decided to learn these things so she can teach it to her daughter, which is a beautiful thing, and I'm here for it. I don't like Portia, I don't go up for it, but again, I gotta give flowers where they're due. We have Candy. Riley's getting ready to go off to college. Riley says that her father should pay for her college, since he hasn't paid for anything else. Candy says that she has filed the paperwork for the back child support, and Candy even asked Riley if they square away this financial issue, would she be willing to build a relationship? And she's kind of meh about it. This is probably the most I want to talk about it. I am not upset with them doing this, but I feel that for a lot of the women, primarily Candy, we should be focusing on how your businesses are doing given COVID and how you're staying afloat. I just don't like. It's just something about this storyline where it's just like, we've done this before. Anyway, Portia mentions while they're marching that none of them really know the full agenda, because if they don't want someone within the group to potentially tip off the police, which when this whole entire all these different protests and whatnot, I've even said amongst my group of friends that they haven't been the best organized, especially given the fact that I'm not going to go down this road. Anyway, you do have a lot of people that were infiltrating the movement for their own either selfish gains or to support other agendas. So whoever had organized this particular protest, kudos to that person for not just giving out all the details, because yes, if there is a motive, there is someone that is working for someone else, they could give all the beans and literally mess everything up. So there's that. Kenya, Candy, and Cynthia are at Kenya's place. She's building another house. Looks to be spacious. The question is asked, and I believe it was by Cynthia, when is it expected to be done? She bypasses that. And on one hand, you have COVID, so there's nothing definitive. But if she does give a definitive date or whatever, now here we go with the She by Sheree and Chateau Sheree stuff. So Kenya was smart on that. They talk about the cleanness of their houses in quarantine. Kenya talks about her and Mark. Biggest thing is there's no reciprocity. Where Kenya does all the giving, Mark does all the taking, and he's not putting in as much as she's putting in. So Cynthia is talking with her since about her calendar. I believe Mike was talking to some his publicist, and I think the final copy of his book is done. They talk quarantine, which I hope nothing against the girls, but I hope all this quarantine talk is done by episode 2. Like, we understand that is going on. It's just something that doesn't need to be reiterated, especially with the face shields and everything else. Cynthia brings up her concern that they won't have the people they want at their wedding, because originally it was supposed to be 250, and since the quarantine happened, now the biggest size of gathering you can have is 50 people. So she's concerned about that. My whole thing is, that they should be enough. If they're going to get married, as long as it's him, her, the person to officiate the wedding, that's all that should matter. And if it comes down to it, that should be it. And, Mike says to her, like, we can get married on the set date and just have the party later. Like, if it's meant for us to keep this timeline, we can still get married and do everything later. And she is saying to him, well, women are different, and I don't think you get it. And he said to it, and I was here for it. He asked her, do you want a marriage or do you want a wedding? I'm like, thank you, because I hate to say it, for a lot of people, it's not, they don't want the marriage, they just want the wedding. They want a big ass lavish expensive party, but they don't want the commitment that goes with it. So yeah. Cindy got some thinking to do. So Portia gets arrested, and it was one of those, like, again, like all the Portia stuff, the fact that I'm speeding through it shows you how much time they really spent on her. Candy is at a location where she's going to do a steakhouse restaurant. So again, she making those moves, but she's trying to make sure, I guess she wants to open it during quarantine or during this whole COVID thing, but she wants to make sure there is enough space to where they can have people, but they can socially distance. Cynthia calls Candy to bring up Portia being arrested, and then we end the episode with Portia where she was in jail for 13 hours, and she has thus been released, and she appreciated the fact that she's been able to share her soul in this entire situation, and has made her better, and she feels that she's going to continue to protest. So I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, and like it was a decent first episode. We still haven't met the other girl. I'm gonna be honest, the other two girls more or less Drew. I don't know them, and I did not choose to look them up because I don't really care that much. But it seems like we might be getting Drew the next episode. So we shall see. But I'm cool with this. Like, it doesn't have to be a whole lot of drama, and I appreciate the rawness of this. But I can see with certain people, it's like, okay, you really didn't have a storyline, so you reaching for something right now. Because even with the whole Cynthia thing, though I'm pretty sure she wants this wedding, I feel like she's reaching. But y'all let me know how y'all feel. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. I actually have the Housewives of Potomac pause at the very beginning, and I'm like 15 minutes in, so I'm about to end this right here. I'm about to get to that, and hopefully I can get caught up, get y'all this review, and all other stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. I will see you guys for Potomac, which should be up shortly after this. All right, y'all. Peace.